There's a new Blue-Eyes structure deck releasing in the OCG in early September, and they finally revealed the first 4 new cards. It's going to have 8 total new cards, but these first 4 are very interesting, and I want to talk about them in today's video. Here we go. Blue-Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon is a level 12 light dragon synchro monster, and it has 3,500 attack and 4,000 defense. It takes 2+ tuners plus 1 non-tuner Blue-Eyes monster to summon, although realistically, I think it's meant to be summoned with the original Spirit Dragon, so don't worry about that too much. Your opponent cannot banish cards from your graveyard. When a card or effect is activated on the field, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. Finally, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 light dragon monster from your graveyard, except Blue-Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon. This card is good. Blue-Eyes finally has an in-archetype negate, and it's really easy to summon with that Spirit Dragon, and then if your opponent destroys it by battle or a card effect, you get to float back into the original Spirit Dragon. But even if they don't deal with this card in the end phase, the Spirit Dragon effect will still destroy this, so you get to float back into it regardless. That being said, I think it's a really strong card, a great new synchro for Blue-Eyes. When Spirit Dragon was released, it was a great meta contender boss monster, but as it's gone on, you know, we're almost 10 years past when it got added into the game, it hasn't remained like a top tier threat. That being said, if you can go into this card though, this card is pretty great, and I think that it will make Spirit Dragon a lot better in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! We also get an update to Maiden. This is Maiden of White, a new level 1 light spellcaster tuner monster. There's a lot of those in Blue-Eyes. Here's what it says. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, place 1 true light from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap zone. If you special summon Blue-Eyes White Dragon while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field, or when a card is targeted for an attack, quick effect, you can special summon either Blue-Eyes White Dragon or 1 level 1 light tuner from your graveyard. True Light isn't the most commonly played card in Blue-Eyes decks, so just in case you forgot what it did, here's what it says. Your opponent cannot target Blue-Eyes White Dragon in your monster zone with card effects. If this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard, destroy all monsters you control. It's kind of like a Blue-Eyes version of Eternal Soul. And then it has 2 other effects, and you can pick one of them to use every single turn. You can either special summon a Blue-Eyes White Dragon from your hand or graveyard, or you can set 1 spell or trap directly from your deck that specifically lists Blue-Eyes White Dragon in its text with a different name from cards you control or in your graveyard. Now, this card hasn't always been played in modern Blue-Eyes decks because it is a bit slow as a trap card that you have to set and then activate on the opponent's turn, but because this new card activates it immediately, you can use those effects right away. I think special summoning a Blue-Eyes White Dragon from your hand or graveyard is pretty good extension, but I also think that the setting a spell or trap card is huge. You have a ton of great cards to choose from, including the 2 new spells we're going to look at in a moment here, so I think that this card does make True Light pretty playable. Now, you do still have to watch out for your opponent destroying it, and then you'll lose all of your monster cards, but if you can play around that, it should be pretty good. That being said, this card even has extra effects that I think are good as well. Special summoning itself for free is great. That instantly gets you to a Spirit Dragon with your level 8 monster on the board, and if an effect happens to target, you also get another free special summon. While the special summon effect can't summon from deck like the original Maiden, it can special summon not only Blue-Eyes, but also level 1 tuner. This card's great. I really like it. It's pretty versatile, and True Light is a cool card, which is really sped up by this new effect, and I think that Maiden of White will easily see play in newer Blue-Eyes decks. We'll have to see with the next 4 cards if there's a new card that maybe protects the True Light from being destroyed, which would be pretty nice, but regardless, I think that this card will be experimented with and probably played in the deck once we have the other modern support. Next up, Prayers with Eyes of Blue, a new normal spell card. This one says discard 1 card, add 1 level 1 light tuner, and 1 spell or trap card that mentions Blue-Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Blue-Eyes White Dragon you control, equip 1 Blue-Eyes monster from your extra deck to it as an equip spell that gives it 400 attack. The first effect is obviously good. It's kind of like Melody, but you're gonna grab a tuner monster plus a spell or trap that mentions Blue-Eyes, which is a pretty good 2-for-2 trade. Blue-Eyes cards obviously often have graveyard effects, so the discard doesn't really matter that much. Now, just like Melody, this card does lose to Ash pretty hard, but I'm not really sure if that's the biggest deal. This deck already wasn't the best against Ash Blossom, so nothing new here, but at least you have another card that you can activate, not just a Melody, that does set you up. There are a ton of targets here. I mean, not only can you grab Blue-Eyes tuners, you can grab whatever you want. Setting this card off of True Light seems great. You can activate it, which immediately sets you up for a combo, and even if you don't set it with a True Light, it's just a good draw in general. The second effect might seem a bit weird. Why would you want to do that? But the place that my head is going, at least, is to equip Blue-Eyes Ultimate Dragon, the original, to set up your Dragon Master Magia. Now, obviously, in the OCG, Dragon Master Magia is a lot more affordable than the TCG, just like I was talking about a couple days ago, but maybe by the time these cards release in the TCG, we'll have a reprint for that. I think it's unlikely, but at the very least, when these cards are eventually added to Master Duel, hopefully Dragon Master Magia is accessible in that format at a cheaper price point. That being said, even without Dragon Master Magia, this card will still definitely be played. There might be a couple combos I'm missing with the equip here, but I really think it is meant to set up the Dragon Master Magia. Finally, we have Saga of the Blue-Eyed Dragon. Saga reference, by the way. Special summon one Blue-Eyes monster from your deck, graveyard, or banished zone in defense position, but you can only special summon Blue-Eyes White Dragon with this effect if you do not control it. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except dragon monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a Blue-Eyes monster. This card has two good effects. The first ability is kind of similar to the Elixir cards, where you can use them for any zombie monster, but if you don't have Eldritch, you have to go for Eldritch. Luckily, Blue-Eyes has a lot of ways to summon Blue-Eyes White Dragon and or cards that are treated as Blue-Eyes White Dragon on the board, like alternative, so I think that this is pretty easy to activate to special summon non-original vanilla Blue-Eyes. Right now, I think the better targets are Blue-Eyes Jet Dragon and Blue-Eyes Abyss Dragon. Blue-Eyes Jet Dragon has a good long-term effect that really helps in the grind game. It gives you extra special summons and it bounces cards back to the hand. Blue-Eyes Abyss Dragon sets you up with either a ritual spell or polymerization, and then in the end phase, it gets you a search of a level 8 or higher dragon monster. Historically, this card has been played to search a Chaos Max combo, and I think that could still be played. We'll have to see though, maybe they'll get a new ritual monster in the structure deck. I think it's more likely though that we get another Blue-Eyes main deck monster. I'm sure they'll give us a new retrain of Blue-Eyes that's actually for the main deck, so we really don't know the full extent of what this card can special summon at the moment because we don't know the other 4 cards in the structure deck, but I'm assuming they'll give it at least one new target, if not more. This card seems very good and it has that bonus graveyard effect. It doesn't have as good of a fusion effect compared to the ultimate fusion, which can be used on the opponent's turn and can also pop cards, but the fact that it's added onto a good card already, and this is just a bonus effect, it does make it pretty appealing. Fusion summons in Blue-Eyes are really great, and this helps you summon Tyrant Dragon basically for free, which is awesome, and I think that if they release another new Blue-Eyes fusion monster in this deck, we could see it be even better. But overall, I mean, these are 4 great Blue-Eyes cards. I would be happy to play these right now, even without knowing the other 4 cards in the structure deck that are brand new, and I think that's a good sign. Now, obviously, the other 4 cards could be terrible, but these 4 do look great, and I'm excited to try them out when they release in the TCG. Now, are Blue-Eyes cards worse if you don't have access to the $600 Dragon Master Magia? Probably, but I think that they're also playable without that card. At least I've already seen some combos that don't even mess with Dragon Master Magia. Now, we don't know if these will be released in a structure deck in the TCG. We haven't really been getting that many structure decks lately, but they could be in a side set or maybe imports in a core set. Now, it's hard to say if they have meta potential because we only know half of the cards, but I think they're off to a great start. Let me know if you want me to talk about the other 4 Blue-Eyes cards that they're releasing once those are revealed. I don't do a ton of OCG card reveals anymore, but I think that Blue-Eyes cards in particular are a lot of fun to talk about, especially when they're actually good. Anyway though, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.